2026 is shaping up to be a landmark year for PlayStation. This is not just a release calendar. It is a full-scale marketplace of imagination, where every major title acts like an asset. Some deliver stable emotional returns. Some spike with creative risk. Others grow into blue chips that define a generation. At PS5 Gameplay Hub, we evaluate these games through a financial lens. World building becomes long-term equity. Combat becomes volatility management. Narrative depth becomes emotional yield. This list highlights 10 of the most promising upcoming PS5 titles. Each offers a different form of value, from dark fantasy to open-world epics to mythic action. You are not just choosing what to play, you are choosing where to allocate your time, your focus, and your passion. Consider this your 2026 gaming market outlook. Let us dive in. The Witcher 4 is positioned as the safest long-horizon asset in the upcoming PlayStation portfolio. This is not just another continuation of Geralt's legacy. It is a full restructuring of the brand, rebuilt on Unreal Engine 5 and shaped as the foundation of an entirely new saga. The world has aged, factions have fractured, Witcher schools have collapsed, leaving the continent in a state of political and magical volatility. In this environment, every decision you make becomes a form of investment. Allies are chosen the way traders pick markets. Trust becomes a limited commodity. Opportunities appear and disappear based on who you support, who you oppose, and which regions you influence. The Witcher series has always been driven by moral accounting, but this new entry amplifies that system. Your reputation becomes a price chart that rises or falls based on your choices. Combat shifts toward a stance-driven model. Fast stance is a low-commitment trade that focuses on agility. Strong stance is a high-risk play that can yield massive damage if timed correctly. Magical signs operate like tactical instruments, allowing you to hedge danger, push pressure, or retreat strategically. This creates constant micro-decisions, each functioning as a moment of risk management. The world is built to be reactive. Villages rebuild or collapse based on your interference. Factions gain or lose influence depending on how you participate in the narrative. Wild creatures migrate or evolve, creating new encounters that feel dynamic rather than scripted. Exploration becomes a series of financial-style evaluations. Is the danger worth the potential reward? Is this region worth cleansing, or should it be abandoned? DualSense enhances immersion with subtle market-like signals. Your medallion pulses before detecting danger. The triggers tighten during high-tension moments. Environmental vibrations simulate storms, beasts, magic, or distant battles. These feedback patterns become early warning indicators that help you read situations before they escalate. Narrative structure focuses on generational storytelling. Rather than following a single hero's path, the game explores how systems, people, and choices evolve over time. This creates emotional compounding, where small actions today can produce massive consequences hours later. It is long-term narrative equity at its finest. Portfolio verdict: The Witcher 4 is a prestige bond. Deep, consistent, replayable, and emotionally rewarding. This is not a game you trade quickly. This is a cornerstone asset for your 2026 gaming portfolio. Norse Oath of Blood invites you into a brutal world shaped by Viking tradition, harsh winters, and divine expectation. You play as a chosen warrior whose oath binds you to the survival of your people. Every decision affects the welfare of your clan, from resource distribution to battlefield leadership. Combat emphasizes precision and timing. Each attack is a calculated risk. Each block or counter is a moment of tactical clarity. Mistakes cost health, stamina, and momentum. Composure under pressure becomes your greatest asset. The environment is equally important. Frozen mountains, storm-soaked coasts, and ancestral burial sites create a world filled with myth and danger. Rituals, raids, alliances, and personal tests shape your path, giving every choice narrative weight. Value Forecast, a strong mid-cap title with solid thematic identity and room for significant growth. If it delivers on emotional depth and combat refinement, it will offer consistent narrative returns. Chronicles Medieval places you in a living feudal ecosystem where ambition is currency and reputation is survival. You begin as a simple commoner with almost nothing, but the world reacts to every action you take. Trade, craft, negotiate, and climb your way through a society that rewards strategy and punishes impulsive decisions. Battlefields feel enormous, with hundreds of soldiers clashing across muddy fields and fortified walls. Each region has its own microeconomy and political climate, turning every move into a calculated risk. Strength alone will not secure your rise. You must cultivate influence, build alliances, and invest in your legacy. Market Position, a slow-building growth stock designed for players who enjoy long-term progression and systems-driven storytelling. Not explosive, but steady and rewarding when approached with patience. Alkahest is a dark fantasy alchemy adventure built on the concept of transformation. Every plant, mineral, monster part, and mysterious essence has properties waiting to be refined. These materials feed into a deep crafting system that allows you to design weapons, traps, potions, and tools that dramatically change your combat style. Exploration is atmospheric and dangerous. Fungal forests glow with bioluminescent spores. Ancient towers creak under the weight of forgotten experiments. Swamps hide both valuable reagents and lethal creatures waiting beneath the surface. Each environment feels handcrafted to push players toward curiosity and calculated risk. Combat is chemistry-driven. You can destabilize metal, ignite liquids, freeze the ground, or create chain reactions that wipe out groups of enemies. Mastery comes not from raw power, but from combining ingredients in ways that reshape the battlefield. No encounter plays the same way twice. Your workshop becomes a laboratory for innovation. Recipes start simple, but evolve into intricate formulas that require experimentation, patience, and the willingness to reinvest your materials. Crafting becomes a production cycle, generating a sense of economic growth as your arsenal expands. Capital gain potential. If the final execution is polished, Alkahest has the potential to become an indie phenomenon with strong, long-term staying power. God Save Birmingham is set in a collapsed United Kingdom, where the city has devolved into a battleground of infected civilians, ruthless gangs, and desperate survivors. Food, medicine, and shelter are scarce. Every step is a life or death gamble, and every decision carries consequences that ripple across the world. Risk assessment. A high volatility experience with unpredictable outcomes. Could become a cult classic or burn out quickly. Best suited for players who enjoy extreme tension and survival uncertainty. Vindictus Defying Fate modernizes the iconic franchise into a crisp, skill-driven action experience. Combat feels heavy and precise. Every swing, parry, and dodge creates or removes advantage. The moment you mistime a movement, you lose momentum. But if you land a perfect exchange, you unlock a flow state of damage and control that feels incredibly rewarding. The world merges Celtic myth with grounded brutality. Fog-drenched forests, colossal beasts, and ancient stone structures create an atmosphere shaped by danger and legend. Your hero's abilities evolve as you master weapon techniques, perfect timing, and pattern recognition. Performance Outlook. A strong mid-tier performer with high mechanical ceiling and strong moment-to-moment gameplay value. Ideal for players who enjoy skill mastery and intense action loops. The Blood of Dawnwalker unfolds in a cursed land trapped in perpetual twilight, ruled by ancient gods and vampiric tyrants. You play as a warrior forged by blood magic and burdened with choices that ripple across a crumbling world. Morality is fluid, alliances are fragile, and every faction is hungry for power. Combat is crafted with Souls-like precision. Parries require absolute focus. Movement must be intentional. Blind aggression leads to quick death. The world itself is a striking mix of sacred beauty and decaying ruin. Cathedrals split open like cracked marble. Valleys glow with ember light as dying gods whisper through the air. Choices shape your path. Favor one faction and another will retaliate. Use forbidden magic and the world may fear you or depend on you. Nothing is absolute, and every victory comes pinned with consequence. Long-term value. A prestige fantasy entry with emotional depth, narrative richness, and high replay potential. Perfect for players who want a world that rewards attention and commitment. Gothic One Remake rebuilds a legendary RPG within a dangerous penal colony ruled by rival factions, ruthless criminals, and unpredictable creatures. You are thrown into a harsh world where loyalty, violence, and survival form the core of daily life. Progress depends entirely on the relationships you forge and the risks you are willing to take. Factions function like competing markets. Join one group and you gain access to resources, training, and protection. But this instantly creates enemies elsewhere. Reputation becomes your social currency. Every quest nudges your standing up or down, shaping how the world treats you. Combat is intentional and weighty. You must commit to attacks, blocks, and dodges. There is no room for frantic button pressing. The world itself is atmospheric, dense, and reactive, with forests hiding beasts, mines concealing secrets, and camps buzzing with political tension. Player Equity Review, a faithful revival that keeps the difficulty, danger, and freedom of the original. A solid long-term choice for fans of immersive world building. Prince of Persia Remake reimagines one of the most iconic action adventures ever created. With smoother parkour, refined animations, and updated environments, movement becomes the core joy once again. Running up walls, swinging from beams, and chaining acrobatic sequences feels more fluid than ever. Time manipulation returns as a strategic mechanic. Players can undo mistakes, correct timing errors, and explore combat creativity in ways modern games rarely allow. The story is fully remastered with improved performances and cinematic detail. Return Expectation, a trustworthy legacy title with guaranteed entertainment value. Ideal for players seeking polished movement, meaningful nostalgia, and refined classic gameplay. Crimson Desert rises as the most ambitious open-world contender in the upcoming PS5 lineup. Every gameplay reveal demonstrates a staggering level of detail, from hand-to-hand combat that feels brutal and weighty to cinematic set pieces that rival Hollywood productions. You play as Macduff, a mercenary struggling through conflict, politics, and personal loss. The world spans deserts, storm-beaten cliffs, bustling cities, and snow-drenched mountains. Encounters feel dynamic and unpredictable. One moment you are solving quests in a village, the next you are wrestling a giant beast or fighting atop a collapsing fortress. Final evaluation. Crimson Desert has the potential to become a defining PlayStation experience. A premium open-world asset with strong long-term value and instant day-one appeal. Ten games, 10 different assets in your 2026 gaming portfolio. From the prestige certainty of The Witcher 4 to the cinematic ambition of Crimson Desert, each title offers a unique form of return. Some reward patience, some reward mastery, some reward curiosity and emotional commitment. So which game will you buy day one? Which one will you wait to pick up during the discount season? Share your picks in the comments and subscribe to PS5 Gameplay Hub for more cinematic breakdowns, ROI evaluations, and value-focused previews. Here, fun is not disposable. It is an investment. Every frame, every decision, and every adventure expands your personal gaming portfolio. Play smart, play with intention, and always invest in what inspires you.